Super Bowl Sunday 2019. Pretty gloomy outside. It's the big game. It's what we wait all year for. So, it's going to be a good one. People always want to take the Patriots down. You know how that goes. People root for the underdogs. Let's see what happens on this one. Hopefully, it's just a good game. Don't have a dog in that fight. I don't have a horse in that race. Just want to see a pretty good game. And you know how it goes. Drink a little bit with the fellas. Talk a lot of mess. It's going down. It's going to be today. So while I get ready to go do that, you guys go ahead and enjoy this next piece. What's up, buddy? What's that? Huh? Yeah, I think I got somebody waiting for me outside. Yeah, appreciate it though. A couple of fellas get together on this one. It's a short story about some fellas who get together and do what fellas do. So hopefully you enjoy it on a day like today, Super Bowl day. Pretty fitting. Fellas get together and do what they do. So hopefully you enjoy it. I'm going to go ahead and let you get to it. If you're a Super Bowl or football fan, hopefully we all enjoy a good game today. See you on the next one. Good, man. For years, they have been like brothers, closer to each other than with their own flesh and blood. They are part of each other's families, godfathers to children, honorary uncles. They have had their differences along the way, like family members do, but always seem to get over it and move on. Manny was the pretty boy of the lot. He was the playboy with no signs of ever stopping. He had no children and no steady woman. He had a stable of women he would reach out to on any given night, but no one he would label his girlfriend. He had women for different occasions. He had specific girls for specific situations. He was not afraid to show up at a family event with any of them. The fact that some of them had met his mother meant nothing to him. He just happened to have had a need to stop at his mother's house, and introducing the woman he was with at that time to his mother was the same as taking one of them to a gentleman's club. It really didn't matter to him. His mother was used to it and learned not to get too attached to any of them. Man, oh man, said Manny when he got back to the table. Why didn't you guys tell me there were so many pretty ladies here? I would have come a little earlier had I known this. There you go, said Jake. When are you going to slow down and settle down, man? Tommy asked him. Aren't you getting too old for the cat and mouse game? Hell no. Hey, listen, I got this thing honestly. I watched my grandpops and my dad live this life until late in their lives. I wouldn't doubt they were both in heaven right now, hollering at some young cuties. That is true. Both of them agreed. So, ladies, do you know any fellas like this? They seem like they may never grow up, and not in the sense that they aren't mature, but aren't willing to, if need be, maybe compromise when they've met someone who can potentially be their lifelong partner. But instead, many of us get caught up into just wanting to be who we are, that we don't want to chip away any of that in order to be with someone that we know we should be with. So in this case, a young fella like Manny, has been the other partners that he's with have long since married and have children and families of their own, but he's hanging on. He's ensuring that he's going to keep that, legacy of being a playboy for as long as he can. Obviously, there are a lot of things that can be viewed as wrong with that if what he ultimately wishes to do is be with someone. But, just the fact that he's been who he has been for as long as he has been that way seems to get in the way. at every event. He always seems to be on the lookout for, his next victim. But nothing in his mind seems to want to settle down, despite the fact that some of the other fellas that he's hanging around and been around with have in fact settled down and are living happy lives. So it happens, fellas. You know what we do. I mean, we always have at least one of those in the group. The one that wants to hang on for as long as he can and doesn't want to let it go, even though we know. Oftentimes we've seen, this guy with a great woman. Nothing, visibly wrong with her. Nothing, that he says is really wrong. That particular guy says that's really wrong with her, but just, his style is to continue to be, that player. And unfortunately, you end up losing some good women along the way. Women do this as well, but this particular story is about a group of fellas that have sort of been together since, early in their lives, right? Late high school, early college. And, it's just about how those relationships have grown and how they have grown as individuals. And then, they come back together again, due to some event, a baptism in this particular case. And they are, forced to sort of relive and reminisce, which I think is part of, that collective. Whenever they get back together, it may not be often, but whenever they do get back together, it's about, reminiscing about things that they've done in the past and fun times that they've had and, close calls that they've had. So it's a pretty fun story. Nothing too deep, very lighthearted, lots of laughs, in the story. So hopefully laughter is one of the emotions that you convey. And for the ladies, I know you know this guy, so maybe we can talk to some things that we can do to get this person to move along and commit if that is truly what he wants to do. And fellas, for those of you that continue to do it, more power to you. But don't let a good thing go by because we're being stubborn and want to continue living that life. After a while, we got to give up that chase. It's not worth it. For those of you that are continuing to do so, hopefully we'll learn it sooner rather than later. But regardless of what you do, enjoy life and have fun. Hopefully you like this one. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this one. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that one. Fellas being fellas. Ladies, hopefully gave you a little bit of insight as to how fellas think. Fellas, hopefully we did you proud in the way we depicted what we do when we get together, especially on a day like today when the Super Bowl took place. You know how it is. So we continue to do what we do. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm going to keep a lot more of these coming. You know what to do. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, the link down below, and get a copy of the book so you can keep up with the stories and what everyone has been buzzing about. So get in on this. I'll catch you on the next one.